Quote, 17 out of every 10,000 people in the United States were experiencing homelessness on a single night in January 2019, according to HUD's annual point-in-time count, end quote. Our nation is in a crisis, a poverty crisis, and with that comes the issue of food waste and homelessness, which go hand in hand together. Our government's resources should be tending to provide shelter for homeless people as well as other facilities and aid over collecting food from our communities to freely give away. People work hard for their money, which they use on food. How are they supposed to be okay with giving all or the majority of their food away if the government is not doing much to aid the homeless or compensate people who are collecting food for the homeless? Zach Conrad, in a publication, Daily Cost of Consumer Food Wasted, Inedible, and Consumed in the United States from the Nutrition Journal, estimates that $2.68 is the adjusted price for vegetables. Now, this take into account is only the adjusted price for a select group of vegetables, not every single group of vegetables that someone purchases individually at the store. At an average of $2.68 per day, a person is to give away about $19 worth of vegetables and fruits weekly, which again is only taking into account one group of vegetables or fruit. How are we expecting working families to be able to afford this as well as, or not as well, but their groceries? That is not even counting the other fruits and vegetables that are purchased that adds up to more than solely $19 for a lot of families, like I already said. It should not be up to solely communities who are barely able to afford their own groceries to be asked to donate food when our government could reallocate resources and funding to help homeless people and to help preserve food. According to, quote, Reducing Waste Food at Home, end quote, by simply making a list with weekly meals in mind, you can save money and time and eat healthier food. In this day and age, however, how is one supposed to legitimately keep track of their meals throughout the week? A lot of people even rely mostly on fast food due to the chaotic schedules of most of their lives. How are we expected to take extra time of our days from work or school in order to make a list and plan out every single meal that we are going to be enjoying throughout the week? That's 7 days a week, and we are supposed to be eating 3 meals a day, which comes out to you planning out 21 meals and then making a list and going to the store and purchasing all of those items and making sure that you have the correct amount. In the academic journal, Food Processing Waste, Cummings notes that, quote, food waste comprises about 15% of the total solid waste, equivalent to 34 million tons of CO2 emissions, with a disposal cost of $1.9 billion, end quote. So why is it up to communities and working families to lower food waste if some of the biggest waste is coming from the line of production? According to that same article, quote, authors estimated that byproduct recovery from food waste, for example, potato peels to lactic acid, could cut the CO2 potential by 190 million tons and recover $5.6 billion per year. Byproduct recovery from cucumber pickling and citrus processing could bring in as well 38.34 and $26.03 billion annually. Methane production from food waste could result in a further 0.09 billion recovery, end quote. So how is it that these huge changes on the production of food can result in so much economic and byproduct recovery, and which can be then used for other things, yet is not being taken into account by our government? We are facing a massive problem with food waste, yes, but as a society, we must determine whose job it is to solve this issue. Is it up to our communities or is it up to our government? Should it be up to working families to lower their food waste by giving away their hard-earned money in the form of food, or should it be up to the government to find funding to programs to help food waste? Working families and lower-income communities are the most likely to suffer from food shortage. So how are they expected to receive food from people who are donating if you're asking those same people that are donating, if you're asking the same people who need the food to donate the food? The top 5% of society control 75% of wealth in our country, yet it is up to working families to lower the food waste in our communities, and that does not make a lot of sense. Our government should take more responsibility over the issue of food waste and provide resources to aid people suffering from food insecurity, as many people in our communities can barely afford their own groceries, especially in the current pandemic that we find ourselves in. Thank you.